Okay, Sinatapi. Welcome to Native Wellness Institute's Wellness Wednesday. It's party time because it's still summer. It's party time because we got healing camps, we got ceremonies, we got Okans, people got transferred, people got a grip. So, I'm coming to you live. I pulled over at Salish Kootenai territory, which is also Blackfoot territory, but we share it. I just had surf and turf at the Korean place. I just got brand new gel nails and a brand new gel pedicure with the lavender scrub. They scrubbed my arms and heated it. And then I was in a massage chair that you could chew. You probably could have multiple orgasms in that chair. It was like... So welcome to Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institute. We come to you every Wednesday to bring positive, productive, and proactive thoughts, dialogue, interviews. And lately we talk about dreams, we talk about the universe. We just had 10,000 meteors go cruising across the sky from a comet that comes every year. So welcome to Native Wellness Institute. And if you got to see some of the meteors, good for you. If you got to see the northern lights, there's been a lot of northern lights. And I'm on what they used to call Flathead Lake. And this lake, so welcome. I'm just gonna do some storytelling about self-care. And I always come to this area because of this lake and the land and the Kootenai people and the Salish people. I love them. In particular, I love one of the women, the Kootenai women, Rosemary Kaye, that has always been my friend. And I zoomed over going to the Sun Road, and well, you got to come to Montana to know we're very rural. It's everything's 2 hours that way, 3 hours that way, or 4 hours that way. That's kind of like, 4 hours north, eh? 4 hours south. That's kind of how we talk. But I came. Mokaken means the backbone of the world. The backbone of the world is what we call the Rocky Mountains. And there's Ninastico Chief Mountain, and then mountains that go in all the way up into Alberta, all the way down Montana, all the way to Colorado. That's what we call the backbone, Mokaken, of the world. And we always called that, even before there was Europeans. Did you know there was a time when there wasn't no Europeans here? Woohoo! Did you know some guy was lost? He was lost looking for India. He was lost and he thought he found India. And here he was down in the islands and on the East Coast. And man, they should have just put him on a stick then, huh? It would have delayed it a little, It's interesting. Sometimes on our global Earth, with the aquifer underneath and the middle of the Earth and the volcanoes, and on our global Earth, there's always been migration. And some people now we're finding lived here 50,000 years ago, way on the other side. Africa. Billion years ago, we're finding there was evidence of life way on the other side. But I just want to, it's not to be Blackfoot egotistical, but our creation stories come from this land and this territory. So we've always been here. We didn't get on a ship. We didn't, float across the water. We didn't do any of that. We just always been here. And in Montana, if you get to come here, It's just a beautiful time right now because it's it's only 73, and the water's warm. You can swim. There's camps going on. I'm watching a kayaker right now. I'll just show you. I'm keeping you here so I can visit because I talk with my hands. Oh, here we are. This flat. I think he's living in his RV because he just pulled up and unhooked his truck and is carrying on. And I just told him, hey, I'm just having some lunch here. But I didn't tell him, hey, I'm doing the power hour. He'll probably say, what's the power hour? I said, that's why Indians, we're stopping we're breaking the cycles. We're living well. We're breaking the cycles. We're bringing back our culture. We're breaking the cycles. We're bringing back our language and speaking our language. We're breaking cycle and we're doing our dances. We're having our Okan, our sun dances, our Native American church ceremonies, our longhouse. We're breaking the cycle and we're bringing back our stories from our version. What happened from our version, not some non-native or non-Blackfoot. Go write about your own people. If you're German, go write about Germany. If you're English, go write about Britain. If you're Scottish, go write about Scotland. Anyway, you get it. But if you're Blackfoot, I'm going to talk about, I guess it's, we used to call it ethnocentrism. It means that you think your people are it. Eh? But you can be a tribe from Africa and have ethnocentrism. You can be an Aboriginal from Australia and have ethnocentrism. You can be a Maori from New Zealand and have ethnocentrism. And all it means is that you have self-love for your people, self-love for your ancestors, self-love for your ceremonies, self-love for people who look just like you, act just like you, and are you, and that's who you fall in love with and you marry them. So today I was, to choose that ethnocentrism. It can also apply to cultures. I'm just really excited. I mean, if I wish you, I would hug you if I could grab you right now. I would hug you, and not in a seductive way. I would just hug you because human to human, there's some really good things going on. My day started, I stayed at the Tribal Cabins, which is called the Big Arm Resort. And the Salish Kootenai, and I stay there because the money goes back into the tribe. I try to stay places where it goes back to the indigenous, back by Indian, by Native, by indigenous. Just even now, the surf and turf, these Korean, I love these Koreans. I had a long healing discussion. I had 2 young Vietnamese and then a third one, and there was some gender fluid in there, but we had a discussion about Vietnam, and I was explaining to them in 1978, 1979, and to 1980 at the San Francisco Public Health Hospital, where I was an intern, that I worked with the first, what they called boat people, that came from Laotian Hmong, that came from Vietnam, and they came seeking refuge and not being murdered or killed. Gee, a lot of people come to America to not be murdered or killed. And they came, and when they would come into California through the San Francisco Bay Area, they came to our hospital and we would give them free health services. But it was kind of interesting because here's the hospital, and I worked in the share unit. It was a treatment program. It was for airplane pilots that drink too much, and there's a lot of them. And also sailors, sailors that they tell time by 1 bell, 2 bells, 3 bells, and then, that's like 3 a.m., 6 a.m. It's all by bells. So I was working there, and I just saw, I'll start with that story of ethnocentrism, and when we have to migrate somewhere else. And at that time I had learned, I used to jog. Everybody jogged to stay in health. And now I see it now because I'm 68 years old and I'm still can get around, and my A1C is 6. I'm not diabetic, and I'm not having a heart attack or something. Anyway, at least, but if I have it today, I had a good life. I'm good. I'm not afraid to die. Not gonna die today, but I just want to tell you the story. Wow, I was working at the share unit, and I had not acknowledged, I thought I was a sick codependent going to Al-Anon and Alateen. And so I really went there because my father was a practicing wicked alcoholic. And I discovered that. And so here I was working in the share unit, and I didn't think that I was an alcoholic because my drinking had not become a problem. A problem. I was a drunk, and I still a drunk, but I'm clean and sober 36 and a half years. Hey, so hey. Here I was, a sick codependent, and a sick codependent, like martyrs, helping everybody, never know how to say no, exhausted, working hard, busy all the time, so goddamn busy. You die and you ain't busy no more. No. Anyway, here I was working at the public health hospital, and in order to maintain my wellness, because you have a lot of people who maintain their wellness by eating just a little bit. They eat just a piece of lettuce and they jog 5 miles. Then they eat a second piece of lettuce and then they bench press. Anyway, I was out jogging, and I got real curious because I try to, I think that's why a lot of us thrive, is curiosity. Stay curious. And I looked over, and there was these trailers. And trailers, there's trailers all over the res. There's trailers there's a trailer right here. I think this guy's living in this trailer. And there was these trailers that they had pulled in. And I saw people that I had never seen before. And they just sat and squatted, not on the ground. They were just squatting. That's how they sat. But there was mothers with children, and there was mothers with little children, and then there was fathers, and then they were waiting to be seen. They didn't bring them in the hospital. They could be seen for their mind, body, and spirit, to see physically how they were. They were, and they had interpreters. That was really cool, because a lot of them only spoke Vietnamese or Laotian Hmong. They brought them in, and then they took care of them. And so then my curiosity, being born and raised on the Blackfeet Reservation, Browning, Montana, born in Heartbeat, I started to see how they were treating these Vietnamese people. And I said, oh my gosh, they're treating them just like they treated Indians. And when I say that, sometimes in the greater America, when you're darker than a paper bag, or you're seen as different in your, let's see, how could I was seeing if I could look white. I can't look white. I just can't do it. I can't look white. But I was seeing these people that were coming fresh from a war, fresh from Vietnam, fresh from being evacuated, fresh from trauma, fresh in their full post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, full trauma, coming with their children, and just what they would sometimes have like It'd be almost like if you took a blanket, like how we used to hold babies. Everything that they owned was carried. Oh, wow. And they were migrating to America through the San Francisco Public Health Hospital. So I got to know them. Got to take care of them. I was the Native American liaison in the San Francisco Public Health Hospital. And every tribe of the 584 tribes that came there to get heart surgery, get any kind of major health remedy, they would come through that hospital. And of course, in those days, Indian Health Service, they didn't send any family, and no family can, like if you came from Arizona, they can't afford to go out to California, so they would be by themselves. And so I was the Indian liaison that would go sit by their bed, get resources, and mainly just counsel them, because they were all alone and most often were going through a life-threatening surgery. So I learned a lot about different tribes. That was a very good job. And then that's where, I was raised with healers. My grandmas were healers. My uncles were healers. My mother was a healer. My whole goddamn tribe was healers. They helped heal people. And so I just remember having this strong empathy and compassion for Vietnamese people. And that's how I began to know them in the late 70s. So when I just came here I am, and I'm trying to be spontaneous. So I went to a brand new place where it was just like, I don't know, 30 chairs for pedicures, and 100 chairs for your nails, and it was decorated so beautiful, and all the help was male, and they were all Vietnamese. And so I got my nails done. So I visit, because what I've learned, if you treat people like less than, you treat them like the help, you're racist. But I always visit with him, so I just started visiting with him. He's only been here a year. He came from California. He came from Southern California. And he was definitely fluid more. It was two-spirit because of how he walked, how he talked, and I could feel his energy was really a beautiful energy. And so I got to hear some of his story. Then 2 other young people come, and I would say they were pushing 23. Both Vietnamese, pushing 23, maybe 24, maybe 22. And one he was giving me a foot massage and asking me about my toes doing this and shorter toenails. And then he started getting the lavender out and the scrub and the paraffin. And I was just like, dang, I mean, I could have an orgasm. But I was just, because the type of foot, he was all of the bottom of my feet, he was caressing them and treating them so good. And then the other young man, he was doing my nails, he massaged my whole arm. He just got all the scrub. And then the chair that I was on, I was having a self-care moment. And kind of when they were almost finishing up, all this was done, the top part was done, I closed my eyes. And one of the things at Native Wellness Institute that we always encourage you to do for self-care is to be mindful, is to meditate. I do transcendental, but I can also do, and I astral travel. I closed my eyes and I went somewhere else. I went where I was near ocean water. I went, because I was in the hot tubs, the hot springs, at Almo at Hot Springs with my friend yesterday. And we cleaned off, we soaked. So I went there because yesterday I could feel how penetrating the mineral water was. I could feel it and then they were putting hot towels on my legs and hot towels. They were just doing this, and I had my eyes closed, and I could travel anywhere I want. That's mindfulness. So I went to Hawaii when Gene Tagabon and the whole team, Lamina Louie was singing some songs, and we were riding the wave like a whale. Oops, my mom's calling, but I'll call her back. I went there, but I also went mindfully breathing, where I totally relaxed. I was intense. I totally relaxed my hips. I totally relaxed down to my calves. And I'm closing my eyes because I just went there, and some of the nice soft massage. I remember times in my life where I was with a partner that I like to be with, or maybe in the future I imagined a person I hadn't been with, and we were just being nice to each other by giving each other a massage. That I went there, and then I had this wonderful feeling of letting go. It was so good just to let go, and there was things I had no control over. I just let them go, people, places, and things. And then I did self-talk, because in the letting go, the things we do have control over is our behavior, our feelings, our stories, our truth, our authenticism. We have control of all of that. And I just started thinking, and it's in my mind, is that I'm gonna be better to Nistuni Daniko Makoyos Koi. I'm gonna be better to Makoyos Koi. I'm gonna sleep better. I'm gonna get, like this surf and turf was like raw fish with a lot of vegetables. I just enjoyed it. I'm gonna eat better. I'm gonna stay in places where I like to stay. I'm going to fix up my house, my big nest, which I'm doing. I'm gonna be around people that really want wellness, that really want to be clean and sober. Around people who believe in lateral kindness, who believe in lateral forgiveness. That's who that meditation just took me there. And of course, I always think of my friend Bonnie Duran. She's a Buddhist, and I just love her. But Bonnie always, she calls it just being in silence with yourself, being in silence, and taking control of your thoughts of good things. So I was thinking about getting medicines. I was digging medicines. I was thinking about taking lavender. I was just, like one of my remedies, and I just get it. It's like a peppermint oil, because it works good where there's mosquitoes where I live, and where I'm going to be camping, there might be mosquitoes. And rather than put toxin which I use this, but and the mindfulness is I could smell the lavender, I could smell the peppermint, I could smell the sweet pine. I swear, that was like, I could smell the sweet pine. And it almost makes me want to salivate, because sometimes when I smell sweet pine, it like goes up into my olfactory, you're smelling, and it just goes throughout your body. Ooh, I can smell that peppermint really good. So that was from a chair massage. Imagine if it was human to human massage. Woohoo! That's how I was like, something's gonna happen pretty soon. Something's gonna be good. Oh, anyway, self-love. Self-love too. The discipline of, I'm running into a lot of Native women, some Native men, who practice while they're healing to be celibate and just have self-love, self-masturbation. That's self-love, and it's discipline. It's better than going out and just using humans, causing all kinds of gossip. just to go out humping all kinds of humans and causing gossip. There's ways, you know, and if you're vowed, if you made a vow of marriage, or you're dedicated to a person, those vows should be sacred, eh? Like, wow, I just, you know, I was looking at some of the, I'm not going to go there, the politics, when they just jump from partner to partner and there's no commitment. That must be a very strange place to be. That's what you would call objectifying other humans. And so coming back to today, this ethnocentrism, I just want to, I'm going to, it's just not too far from here. It's a place called Rawlins, Montana. And I guess I'll just invite you guys, because it is a registration, but there is a night, and I'm not sure if it's the night on the 16th. It might be. Yeah, I think it's the 16th. We do let outsiders come in because we have talent night. We have singing, dancing, drag queens. And it's just a fun night. We have sometimes a Lulu contest, sometimes a warrior yell contest, and then sometimes people read poetry or just get up and a cappella sing a song. So will be at and I think it's an old Methodist cabin campground, but it's the 28th annual, and I'm just a small part of it. I'm the traditional practitioner that gets to come and do talking circles. I get to bring smudge. And I was making medicine. I was grinding medicine day before yesterday, before I came here. And because I was listening to so many people saying I'm grieving. So I ground a lot of sorrow medicine, which is like the fungus of the white diamond willow. I ground some of that, and then I took out, every once in a while I was given some gummy leaf from the Aboriginals in Australia. So I took some of that and that grief medicine, and then omegasis from crazy dog medicine, and then I had harvested a whole bunch of sweet pine, and I put them all together because of my rite of passage dream. I put all four together and I ground them, and I thought to myself, like, well, you know, why am I doing this? Because whatever I'm going to be, or wherever I'm going to be this week, people want to smudge. And it's not me. I'm just a conduit. I'm nothing. I'm just human. But I thought, I got to bring medicine that people can help heal. So I ground that medicine up. And then while I was sitting there, I realized I won't be right there where my big tobacco plant has been talking to me. It's time to harvest it. And you can tell, because some of the leaves at the bottom, when you grow your own tobacco, when they start to turn just a little smidgen of brown, it means it's time to harvest that whole big tobacco plant. So I went over and I start talking to my tobacco plant, because you should always talk to your plants. And I started saying, is it okay if I harvest you today? Is it okay? And I was almost like caressing my big tobacco plant. And it's like the plant went like that. Yeah, it's okay. So then I thought, well, now I got to make a smudge. So I lit a coal, and I have 6 personal pipes. They all have a story, but I smudged them, and I thought it's time to harvest this tobacco. So I went and you should always, when you harvest tobacco, you need to clip it at the bottom quickly, or have a sharp machete or a knife that's just gonna do it quick, not like let the plant suffer. And I'm just sharing the story with you, because after I smudged and it was time, I decided to use, and I guess it's like a fillet knife. I came and took this knife, and I held my tobacco plant, and I gave it my intentions. I said, I will only use you for prayers to help people with their mind, body, and spirit heal. That's what you're going to be used for. And I'm thanking you for your life. And I just started crying and crying. So I held it, then I cut it, and then I took it and I held it almost like it was a big plant, very big plant, but I held it like a baby and lullabied it and thanked it for its life. And then, then I had my sinew. I always have how you're going to hang it up. And so I wrapped the sinew and I made a knot and then a top knot so that I could, and I thought, where should I hang this Tabasco, tobacco, this pastascan? Where should I hang it so that it dries good? And so the direct sun was coming in, and right there where the sliding glass doors is, I decided to hang it right there so that it could, and some of the leaves are big green leaves on the tobacco, but they were just hanging down, and I wanted it. Anyway, I say a lot of prayers. Since I've been on the road, I always get this electrolyte, a gallon of water. I try to drink a lot of water. And so I can cry. You drink a lot of water, it gets to come out. But I felt some kind of peace when I harvested that tobacco, because this will be tobacco in the winter time. This will be tobacco in the fall. This will be tobacco for spring. And all the way to, this should be enough tobacco even all the way till next summer, till the next thunder comes around. And then I just realized what I had felt was the calmness of what you can rely upon. You can rely upon the equinox. You can rely upon the solstice. You can rely upon the Okan that comes every year. You can rely upon all the seasonal ceremonies and all the seasonal songs. And you can rely upon all the stories never change. You can grab a story that gives you solace in your heart and gives you solace in your being. So I just by harvesting that tobacco plant, I had this ceremony that helped me, and I was pretty much packed because I'm gonna be working in Kansas, Mayetta, Kansas, with Nancy Rios and HRSA, Region 7 after this. But I'm taking I guess I'm on a couple days vacay because I'm here with you. Every time I'm here with you, I feel like I'm on vacation because Native Wellness Institute keeps the teachings of our ancestors alive, and that's who I work for. We're an NGO, a non-government organization. We don't rely upon grants. Indians just hire us or pay us to do healing work, and that's what we do, our whole team. So some of our team, I want to give a shout out to Native Dads Network, Mike Duncan, Anthony Steele, Rose Steele, Cliff Modoff, his wife, I think some children, Love Duncan, and I want to give a shout out to Tiffany Webb and Amber Webb and her husbands, all of their husbands, all of their children. I want to give a shout out to Liz Sunnyboy. Liz has been sober since the 1900s, and she was one of my first kind of like sponsors that really helped me when I was first trying to quit drinking. Liz Sunnyboy is there, and all these elders, and Achtaniki, while my sister Lori is there. I thought, well, then I don't have to be there. Lori's there. Lori's just like me, or we're similar. But they're all together in Dillingham. And they brought all their Alaskan Native interior from the interior all over Alaska, from the cities. And then they brought all of their Alaskan allies. These are allies. These are people who have their best interest in mind. And they're together. And then Mike, of course, he brought everyone because they're going to some of the captains are there. They're going to do dancing they pray by dancing. They dance you. It's like they doctor you with their dancing. They doctor you with all those feathers. They doctor you. It's almost like an crazy dogs. You know, when those first couple of songs they call the spirits, and then the second song the spirits doctor you, and then the third and fourth song is of gratitude, thankfulness, and pray for everyone that they get enough food, that everyone lives a long, healthy life. There's all these sequence of songs, and it's like a long prayer. And that's what they're doing in Dillingham. So I want to give them a shout out. But I want to give a special shout out today. You know, one of my co-facilitators is Gene Tagabon, the crazy raven. He popped into my head, and I had a picture of him and his wife, Ruby. We were at Kyo, and they were smiling, and we were dancing. We were just visiting, and I just sent it to him, and I realized, you know, they're like 3 hours behind, or I sent it to him, and it must have been like 5:30 a.m. You know, you shouldn't be waking people up at 5. Anyway, but he was up because he was in Juneau, and he was having a men's conference. So a shout out to Gene Tagabon, another one of our Native Wellnesses. He's doing all these men's conferences. Him and Wade McGee and Native Dads Network, who are allied with White Bison, with NAFA, with American Indian Cancer Foundation. We're not competing against each other. We're helping each other. So Gene was my first conversation today, because I sent the picture, and we ended up talking on the phone. He goes, "That's a nice picture." And I said, "Yeah, you were coming through." And that's that on-said communication. I said, your life force was coming through, and I saw you and Ruby, that's his wife, and they have 3 dogs. They call them the kids. And I said, you were coming through so fierce, like, so I sent you that picture. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm glad you." And we ended up having, I don't know, conversation for a long time, because they were finally, he said, "I gotta go." They were supposed to go to work. And then I go, "I gotta go too, because I gotta go get my nails done. I gotta go get a pedicure." I've been sitting out there on this rocking chair, looking at the water, reading my meditations, talking to my friend Timothy for a while. It's hot in Los Angeles. It is hot, real hot. Anyway, so I wanted to come to you today, and I guess I just visit with you. But this ethnocentrism, it's kind of, I would call it self-actualization. I think there's a lot of reemergence and reclaiming of our culture and our ways, and that we have young people self-actualizing, younger, because you know, I think sometimes, you know, we at different the generations, you know, the 20 and under, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80. There's this coming of self-actualization for each generation, which means they know their history, they look how they evolve, they self-forgive, because you have to self-forgive for some, if you did stuff that was immature and childish. You have to self-forgive, and you should have a ceremony, your own rites of passage. You know, you aren't 21 years old anymore like that. You've matured. You're a grown adult. And then when you're a grown adult, not adult, but when you're grown, you should just do your best to make mature decisions. Mature decisions. Not reacting to things. Not going off the handle. Reflecting on it before you decide how you should respond. Responding, and sometimes responding is not till the next day. I got all excited because Rena Charette, shout out to Rena, they're having a conference in Utah, I think in September, and they want me to come be a keynote, but she wanted to visit, and I thought, yeah, I'd love to visit with Rena. So anyway, we're when I get off here, I'm gonna give her a jingling, and then we're gonna talk about that keynote. But this self-actualization, this native self-actualization, is a higher, you know, it's almost like our societies, you know, like we had mosquito, kit fox, we'd have all these societies as you mature, you know, to Ixcanax, Horn Society, and in every tribe, Arapaho, same way, you matured. And this self-actualization, sometimes you're in those societies so that you can spiritually mature, so that you can be kind, you know, and I have to overemphasize kindness, helping others, not hurting anyone. That you have these times in the society till you learn those protocols, and you learn, and the protocols, they never change. There might be little nuances to it, but they help people spiritually mature. Just like, you know, Maslow, when he came and stayed with us, he captured a part of it. He captured a part of it. And self-actualization, he put together because of the Siksikatepi, the Blackfoots that he lived with. He got to love those elders, and those elders got to love him, and they taught him a lot. So in this, so I was just noticing, because I could see my reflection. I was just noticing how much I kind of have a lot on, and there was a reason, because one of the things that I very rarely put this on is I got this one with my trip to Peru. And if you look at it really closely, it's beads and it's woven, and each bead is a separate prayer, and it's woven like almost like a basket. And each of these, so I was given this. Chris McKay, she's my friend, she gave this to me when we went to Peru, and I haven't worn it in a while, so I was trying to like remember it's connected, but it's days you wear it. And the Inca women that wear this every day, they wear their prayers, because often this would be about their people, about the water, about the land, all of that. They have 45 different kinds of potatoes too, purple potato, you know. So here I said, I'm gonna wear this today. And then this is horse medicine. I had pulled out these earrings, and I just realized I had a lot on. And then I've been wearing, Joe Day gave me, Joe Day, he's from Australia, and he started really allying with Native Wellness Institute in 2011. He came in December to San Diego and took our healthy relationship curriculum, training of trainers, and we still have that. You can go to our site and you can learn, and we'll give you the curriculum. But Joe Day, when he came, he gave me this shirt, so I've been wearing it a lot, because he's gone now, but he's not gone. I've been thinking about a lot of the things that he taught us, and the humor, and just who he is. So like I guess I'm wearing a lot of things. One of my Ganaxtimidal made me, they got this is wolf teeth. And I'm not going to say if they killed the wolf or they found him, but they made this necklace, and it has like a silver dollar, and then it's got ermine. And then my niece that's over in Hawaii on Oahu gave me some medicine and other stuff. I'm wearing, I guess because I'm out here, and I just in case there's any racist Republicans around here, I'm going to go back. I got all my goods on. You can't hurt me. But if that doesn't work, pull out the 40. No, just teasing. But the self-actualization. So I'm going to share a couple of stories, and it has to do with even this. I like this wearing your prayers. I was talking with my friend Teresa, and she's filling out an application to work at Head Start, because she's really good with children, and she's a cook. She's really good with schools, and we were talking, and she said, yeah, I was thinking about, she said, when I first met you, you were at a 12-step meeting. We were at a 12-step meeting, and I was leaving the next day to go to Peru. So that meant it was July 2012 when we became friends. And I went on that trip because I had this dream, and when I always, my dreams really, I make decisions because of what I dream. But I had dreamt that I was in Peru, and I was by these large rocks, like bigger than, you know, a car, and big as an RV, some of these rocks. And then I was by smaller rocks that were, you know, as big as a half of a car, you know, and wherever I was praying with these rocks. Natus occultux, a holy rock. And if you think of like our iniscum, you know, our iniscums, I got two of my little iniscums in my pouch right here. Geez, I'm wearing a lot of Indian stuff. That's good. I think it's a good thing. And so when I had this dream, I was praying with these rocks, and so I danced. My mom danced with Buster Yellow Kidney's bundle for years, and I danced there 10 years. And this was, so I had this, it was 2011 the last time I danced with that bundle. And by dancing, you know, because it was given by Mooseman, a man in Canada, he gave a bundle to Joe Ironman at Fort Belknap, and a bundle to Buster Yellow Kidney. And Buster's wife at that time, Thelma, had a dream, so it's a very important bundle. And one of our dancers, because we never talked about work, it was when you've been fasting for 3 days, and it's the end of the night, and they take all of the dancers, and you can't, you know, you're in the spirit world, so you keep that blanket over you. And they took us out, and it was dark, and we all had to line up. And so instead of just standing there, because you kind of get weak because you don't get no food nor no water, but you're tired from dancing all day in the sun. So we just laid back on the grass because it was dark and no one could see us, and we were looking at the stars. We were looking at the Milky Way, and I was telling my friend Chris, I said, yeah, I had a dream about Peru, and I think I need to go there. And then she sits up and she goes, Peru? You know, she goes, Theda, Peru, why Peru? And anyway, she had been going to Peru for like 14 years. She runs crickettrails.org, and she had helped them get protein. She got them a couple cows in one of the village, kui, which is guinea pigs. She had just did all this stuff, and she goes, Peru? And I go, yeah, I think I need to go there. She goes, I could take you to Peru. And then I was like, doing huck. So anyway, she had been going there, and she has an organization. And I'm sharing this story with you because I ended up going, and my friend at that time, Cecilia Fire Thunder and Jay LaPlante, were supposed to come with me, but it didn't work out. So I just went by myself with her and a couple other people. And we prayed with the rocks all the way up to Machu Picchu. From Cusco, that means belly button, and we prayed all the way up. So I know those prayers are still alive, because even when we got to Machu Picchu the night before, I dreamt about a giant sundial. But there was this giant rock sundial of when the prophecy of when the condor meets the eagle, but there was a painted lodge on top of that sundial. And when I got up there and saw that in real life there was a sundial, I knew there was a reason for my dream. And I'm sharing this because this Peru connection, at that time in America, and it was, you know, this, I think it's humorous, and I've shared this story with you before about December 21st, the solstice, 2012. In 2012, it was the end. It meant it was the end of the Mayan calendar of 26,000 years, and that the new calendar would start in 2012. And so what has that got to do with self-actualization? I think in this new round, things are speeded up a little during the equinox, September 22nd, this equinox, December 21st, this solstice, when we get a new female president of the United States, there's going to be a lot of volatileness. And in this volatileness, that's when you have to stay close to your prayers. That's when you have to stay close to those you love. That's when you have to check on your elders. That's when you have to be creating safe space for your children, creating safe space for your elementary kids, creating safe space for your high school kids. It's kind of like if you guys ever get a chance and you want to see a safe space, go visit Opakossin in Lethbridge. Tanya Crosschild, and she has the best workers. They all work at Opakossin. And so this self-actualization, this time that we're in, because I notice that people that are away, not connected to their prayers, or they're just being tossed around by their environment. They're not intentional with where they are, how they travel. I mean, I was just laughing. I got my Kami Poismanix, my headdress, because Stephen Barrios, a new transfer of a Kami Poismanix stand-up headdress, just got transferred and he wants to dance. I think it's on in a couple nights at the powwow. So I brought my headdress, and I usually don't take it far. I don't take it out of the Blackfoot territory, but I have my dance outfit. I have my work. I have all my flags, my Aboriginal flag. I got my Maori flag. I got my work. I was laughing because I even got all my Crocs for different land. I got all my hokas. I have this travoy, and I was thinking, sheesh, everything in here, I could just live in here. I guess I do, because I'm gonna travel today. I came to you. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday, Native Wellness Institute's Power Hour. We still call it a Power Hour, but we come to you. And so I'd like to invite you to a couple things, because starting tomorrow on Flathead Lake, the 28th annual Two Spirit Conference is happening. And we have a bunch of new people coming, and then we have the old G's also coming, and we have it's just a beautiful time. And I always come because I witnessed my own daughter being bullied, becoming addicted, and I just seen it just because she was Two-Spirit, how people treated her. So I try to create a world, and I come here because I want Two-Spirit to be acknowledged, to be protected, and to know they're holy people, to know that they're special people. And you can feel it, because when you're around, even today I was saying that's the irony, the man that was the man-woman, and I didn't ask him his pronouns, but he was obviously Two-Spirit in his mannerisms. He was doing the massage on my arm, and he was doing it, and I just thought, wow, I'm like being doctored by a holy person, a Two-Spirit man. And he was so gentle, and he was so kind, and you could feel he had no judgment. He was only encouraging. That's when you know someone is special. When people look at you, and you can tell when they're judging you, because there's like this invisible thing where you're cautionary. But with this Two-Spirit allyship, I really encourage you, because like sometimes, if you've ever got mad at your child because they were Two-Spirit, or disregarded them, or disrespected them, if you have ever judged someone, two women getting married, two men getting married, or you thought, knock that shit off, because These are our relatives. They have every right to be with us. They have every right to enjoy life. And that's what we're going to head over to the camp now. I think they're having a board meeting, and then we're going to probably sit by the fire and have a evening and it's like talking circle all the time. The next 4 days, 15, 16, 17, 18, will be like talking circles of Two-Spirit and allies. And allies are those that do not judge them, but love them. Do not just, it's like smudge, not judge. Just smudge, not judge. And so and then there's the 36th annual Two-Spirit gathering in Oklahoma City. I think it's in November. You can actually go. They have a site. Steve Barrios, on my Facebook page, you can go to Steve and visit with him. David Herrera. There's just several. I was just looking at, I think, George, who is Montana Two-Spirit Queen, the beaded, will have to relinquish the crown this year, and there'll be a new queen crowned. That'll be real special. So in the couple minutes that we have left, of Native Wellness Wednesday, I want to just ask you to do self-care, to take a hike, read a book, call a friend, just I do the nails and the massage and all of that. But lately I just been listening to the music I want to listen to and singing along. I just been just singing along, driving along, just dancing along, just doing it, taking care of yourself, because your children are watching you, and they watch how you take care of yourself, and then they in turn take care of themselves. And then if you speak the language, speak the language, speak more of the language, then your children speak the language. If you know some songs, and I don't care if you can't sing, because I can't sing either, sing the songs, the Indian songs. Learn or play. I was at Heartbeat Powwow. Oh my God, they had like Northern Cree, they had Black Lodge, they had Blackfoot Confederacy, and more. And it's we just had to dance every dance, and so like it was contests, man, and I just out there dancing every dance, and it was electric. It was electrified, and at the same time as Hayes Powwow was going, it was electric. And so the last invitation I'll give to you is next year at the Milk River Powwow. Renee Hawley is sponsoring a woman's grass dance. First prize $1,500 in a jacket. Second prize $1,000 in a jacket. Third, so we actually are gonna have a woman's grass. So start making your grass outfit. Get your ribbons together. We have one of our little relatives, we think because she's really a good dancer, and she jiggle dresses dances, and then she grass dances. She jiggle dresses and she grass dances. So we might even get an outfit together and bring her over there and get her into that contest. So it's reached the time we get to be with you an hour. Native Wellness wants to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive. So I hope that I've given you some words of encouragement. I hope that I've given you some humor. At least I feel humorous. I feel good today. I feel really happy because I'm going to have a really good week with some beautiful people. So Native Wellness Institute, you can go and see our events. We're going to be back at Pechanga in December, so come and join. We're going to be doing the Healthy Relationship Training of Trainers at Pechanga. So look us up, come, and if you want to be well or have well-briety or to keep yourself clean and sober, come join us. So with that, I'll say, Kitaki to Matsuno. See you next Wednesday.